All right, so what is up, everybody? And I guess welcome to the YouTube channel. Something I've been kind of thinking about for probably, I don't know, maybe half a decade since I've had this car. Or when I first did the wide body fender flares. But as you can see behind me, if I'm not standing in the way, this is my 2014 Hyundai Genesis Coupe. Quick rundown on the car: 2014 2.0T R-Spec. Bought it brand new. It's just a stance car. Let's be honest here. This is not a performance car. Funny story: I bought it brand new in 2014 to be a track car, and within like 3 months of owning this thing, I just realized that this is not a track car. If I wanted a track car, I probably should have bought something along the lines of an FRS or a BRZ. I bought the turbo model, specifically for like the quote-unquote performance aftermarket support on that thing. But like I said, it's not really built for that. You'd have to go so crazy into the performance aspect that it just wasn't worth it to have it, because at the time this was my only car. It was my daily driver, like going to construction sites and stuff. This was my work vehicle. So like I said, after a couple months of having it, way back when, realized this wasn't really going to be a track car. It was just going to be kind of like a meet car, a show car. I just started to go to car meets, go to car shows. That's kind of what I started liking. I realized there's no chance of me possibly crashing the car or wrecking it at a track day and then not having a car to drive to work the next day. So one thing led to another. Got a set of 3-piece wheels, got some air suspension. A year later, did a fender flare kit on it, and now it is what it is. It's been like, I don't know, maybe 10 different colors at this point. This is the latest setup. Unfortunately, I just redid the car last summer, so a bunch of that stuff didn't get filmed, obviously, but that's kind of why I wanted to go into the YouTube thing, because I've done so much stuff with this car, so many different suspension setups. I've made parts, I've tested out things, I've figured this problem out, figured that problem out, been able to kind of help a lot of people in the past over the last couple of years, especially when it comes to like suspension or stance related stuff. That's kind of like what I absolutely love these days. But I'm getting to the point where I've kind of, not like, I don't want to sound cocky and say like I've mastered this suspension or this platform, but I kind of have. It drives beautifully. I've had all different kinds of camber setups, from 3 degrees to negative 20 degrees. Car's always driven great. It's always been super reliable and everything like that. But I always wanted to do more. I want to get into the engine stuff. I want to get into like fabricating, learn how to weld, doing all that. I can do the suspension, I can do the fiberglass work, I can do all of that stuff. But there's always been a level of, I'm here, I want to learn and basically be completely self-sufficient with this car, being able to do whatever I want, and then possibly just get into another car and doing something totally different like that. Like, I've loved to get into some sort of like drag car eventually down the road, doing like drag weeks and stuff like that. That'd be super cool. But right now, and with this car, obviously that isn't going to happen. I'd have to significantly change the car, and this car is 100% just for show purposes. This car drives from A to B, looks good at a car show parked, and that is what this car does. This car is not about performance. It is about driving well and looking absolutely good, aired out at a car show. That's the purpose of this vehicle. But going forward, I would like to do stuff like a top mount turbo, but just as doing the car thing as like a hobby, it doesn't really make sense, in my opinion or in my head, to go crazy with this car, with the suspension, with the turbo setup, and start getting into all the performance parts. Because one, let's be honest, I'm not using it. Two, if something happens to it, that sucks. I don't feel like having to spend $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 on a turbo kit, blow the engine, like absolutely everybody seems to do with this thing, and then you're shit out of luck. So I figured if I can commit to the YouTube thing, start making content with it, and it might make sense to start getting into crazier things that I'm not 100% comfortable with, like the performance part of it. But yeah, so that's enough about that. Quick rundown on the car. Like I said, it's 2014. It's a 2.0T R-Spec model, which means that it's manual transmission, has an LSD. It comes with the Brembo brakes. and it's like the stripped down version of it, so it doesn't have power seat, no push to start, no navigation, no subwoofer. Back in 2014, to get a 2.0T with the manual and the Brembos and the LSD, this is the only package you could do that. They didn't make the track 2.0T anymore, and I didn't get the 3.8 just because, like I said, I was originally supposed to track the car, which is why I got the 2.0 turbo. Makes a little bit more sense for tuning aspects, but like I said, turned into this. So if I kind of knew this, probably I would have just bought the 3.8 because it sounds sick, but whatever, you can't do anything about it. But yeah, that basically sums up that aspect of this. But garage you see behind me, it's not mine. I rented it for winter storage last winter, so 2020 winter going into 2021 spring. My lease agreement ended in April or May. I extended it to May. This is the first time I've been here in about a month. You're watching this. When you're watching this, I don't know when it's going to come out or when I'm going to post it, but it is currently like the 2nd of June right now. So I just talked to the owner of the garage. I'm going to rent this out pretty much indefinitely. So basically, yeah, we got the garage space again. It's a pretty nice space. It's nothing special, nothing crazy, but it is dry. It did have heat for the winter, which was nice. The lighting is actually surprisingly pretty good. It's quiet. We're pretty hidden off of the main road and stuff like that over here. It has bathroom, has lights, has heat. Can't really beat it for what I need just as a storage place and somewhere to work on my car, because at my house I just don't have anywhere to do this, and kind of working on this car on the side of the road, I'm kind of sick of that. It's what I've done up until this point. But yeah, so I guess we'll give you a quick walk around of the car and the garage space, so let's get into that. Okay, so just a quick rundown of the Genesis here. Like I said, it is 2014 2.0T R-Spec. It is currently vinyl wrapped, a Nosotech metallic green Mamba, or green Mamba metallic, whatever they call it. It's a Nosotech vinyl. It's actually pretty nice. It's got the remake fender flare kit. It is on air suspension. This is just kind of like a ride height setting it is on. I don't like to air it out too much in this garage just because it can't really see, but it slopes down like that, and it's kind of wavy in the front bumper area, and I don't want to air it down and crack the bumper or the fender flares or anything like that, airing down on it. But I'll do a full walk around video of the car, like an in-depth one, upcoming very soon, probably like next week or something, since this is going to rain. I don't know when this video is going to be posted exactly, but it's right now, it's the 2nd of June. So once I get a chance and it stops raining, then we'll go out and do a full walk around video. Like I said, fender flares, it's a remake kit, 18-inch Baz rays, carbon hood and trunk, and a whole bunch of suspension parts. On for the garage, this is kind of the work area that I've had. It's just kind of a mess. I haven't been here in quite a while. Probably haven't been here in about a month and a half, just because, like I said, I was supposed to get rid of the garage. And then I just decided, you know what, I'm going to keep it. I'm going to try doing some YouTube stuff. I have filmed a couple of videos a couple months back that I'm going to post those videos, and then it'll be caught up back to like real time. Like I said, I was thinking about doing this over the winter, and I just kind of never really, I filmed a couple videos, edited them, never did anything with them. So I figured, you know what, I might as well do it. Like I said, I have a garage space. I actually needed the garage space for something else. I have a bunch of stuff in a storage garage, and that garage is no longer going to be available to me in a couple of months. So we are going to actually move all that stuff here. I'm going to be getting rid of these desks. I'm going to put storage shelves here. I have a giant 8-foot workbench that's going to go along here, and I'm going to move all my tools here. Along with a lot of my spare parts, because right now I basically just have that one toolbox here and all the tools that I carry in the trunk of this car. But yeah, so like I said, I have a couple of videos filmed and edited. I don't know how many of them or which ones I'm going to use, just because some of them were good, some of them just sucked, I'll be honest with you. I don't really know what I'm doing when it comes to filming and editing. I'm not very good at talking on the camera, but I think I can get better at this. But more importantly, I have just a bunch of knowledge and stuff on this car and just kind of things in general that I answer on a daily basis for people who have questions on like social media, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. And it's super hard to get across through like text. And I always just said to myself, I was like, you know, if I just made videos, I could easily explain this so much easier. I can show people like and then talk about it at the same time. It would just make so much sense. So that's kind of really what's pushed me to do this. And then also I really do want to get into doing more stuff with this car. Like it's kind of at the point where I've kind of run out of simple things to do to the car. It's basically been stanced for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years now. 2015, so that was when I got my first three-piece set of wheels and first set of bags. I've had like 4 different air suspension setups on this car, a number of different control setups in the car, control arm setups in the car. So what's on the car right now is absolutely perfect. This is the best setup this car has had. It drives flawlessly. Even when it was at 20 degrees last year of camber, that is, it drove perfectly. Tires were lasting a while. It never like got squirrely or couldn't handle driving. It drove flawlessly. I mean, the car is not going to be doing a 3,000-mile road trip to like wherever for a show. Like, that's not what this car is. It's not going to the canyons or the mountains or to a track day. That's not what this car is about. This car is literally about looking good at a car show park. That's its sole purpose. Although the focus is on making it look good, I still need to make it drive well, because I do drive the car pretty often. I was daily driving it up until like 2017, and it was at 11 degrees of camber back then. I did actually get rear-ended at a red light, and at that point, that's when it just stopped. This was not a daily driver. This car is driven when it needs to be driven, or on the weekends, or when we're going to a car show. I'll get into that accident a ton more, because that was a big whole deal. It sucked. It was a bad situation, and the car basically just sat in storage for 13 months or something like that. And but yeah, that's the story for another video. Like I said, I don't know when this video is going to be posted. Hopefully within the next week of me filming this. After this gets posted, we'll go into those other videos that I said I recorded. Hopefully that'll give us about 4, 5, maybe 6 videos. I don't know. Like I said, I filmed some. Don't know how many I'm gonna like. No, don't know how many are worth posting. I know one video, I replaced the exhaust on this. That one's pretty okay. And then 2 more videos, we did some wheel and tire work and some TPMS, internal TPMS sensors and some valve stem stuff, just to show when you're running like super aggressive wheels, like these are, specifically that have really small barrels. There's some challenges you got to overcome to get valve stems to actually line up. So those are at least 3 videos that I have 100% edited right now, and I'm pretty okay with those. Those are the first things I've ever filmed. They probably suck going forward, or looking back on this in the future, they're probably gonna be terrible videos, but it's the first time making a YouTube video and editing and stuff and recording stuff. So hey, everybody's gonna start somewhere. I think that's probably one of the things that held me back for the longest time, is that when you're watching YouTube and you're watching all the big name people, they have such high production, they have a nice garage, they have a bunch of tools, they got car lifts, they got all that kind of stuff, and I've always been like, I don't have any of that stuff, but I've been able to make it work for this long. Now for the first time, I have a actual garage that I can get in and out of easily, that I can come, this is my space, and just go from there. So I don't know, like I said, we'll see what happens with it. I'm not guaranteeing anything, but if enough people watch it and enough people enjoy it, then that's obviously something that's cool to do. But yeah, I don't really know what else to do. Don't want to keep rambling on and on, but yeah, like I said, if this video gets posted, welcome to the YouTube channel. Subscribe, like, comment, all that stuff that everybody else says. But yeah, hopefully I stick with it, and people enjoy watching it, and they like it, and then I can go further. I do want to eventually become basically self-sufficient for the cars, be like anything that I want, not just when it comes to stance cars and stance stuff for this, but like tire machine, tire balancer, doing alignments, because it's just those three things right there are just a pain in the butt. It's always having to go somewhere else and rely on somebody else for super simple, super quick things. Then I also want to learn how to start welding, fabricating, stuff like that. In the early stages of when I was testing out suspension parts and all that stuff for this car, it would have been super helpful if I knew how to do that stuff right from the beginning. Fortunately, I've just never had a place to be able to have like a welder and all that shit. This probably garage isn't probably the best since it's all wood, and I don't even think it has a 220 hookup. I don't know. I know you can get 120 things, but I don't know. We'll see. That's what I'm talking about, where I say I want to see where this goes, because to get that far into things as just a hobby or a thing on the side, it's just not worth it to me. In my head, I just don't think it's worth the time or the money or the energy to get into those things. But if we can take a step with a YouTube channel, and now it's kind of more than just an on the side hobby or something like that, it kind of makes a little bit more sense in my head, or at least that's how I think logically. But yeah, I'm gonna end this here, but welcome to the YouTube channel, and hey, see you next time. Peace.